Hello, today I just want to show you a door that I had to install in a house and found out that the door that they were using was actually an interior door and not an entrance door. And this was a little bit of a challenge, which you can see in the slideshow that I'm going to present right now. Check it out. Hello, as you can see, I'm inspecting the door right now before I take it off, and I can see that they actually had an interior door that they turned into an exterior door by putting on some kind of a metal frame. I didn't understand what that was. As you can see here, the door took quite a beating from the sun because it was an interior door. Wasn't very thick, not as thick as an exterior door anyway. And you can see here that part of the panels were starting to come apart. As well as you can see on this slide as well, the panels were coming apart and the paint was actually peeling off the door. Now in this picture you can see the frame that's going around the exterior of the door here to make up the difference between the sizes of an interior door and an exterior door. I've never seen this before. So what I did was I took the door off and I put it on top of the new door. As you can see, I circled or traced the holes where the lock and the handle was going to go, and it worked out pretty well doing that. Now as you can see here, I brought down the lines from the other door to where I was going to have to notch these out with a chisel and a hammer after I drilled out the hole itself. Also in this slide you can see I brought down where the hinges were going to go. I actually found out that it was going to be harder than I thought to do these hinges because of the difference between the metal that was going around the door. I didn't take into account for that. So in this picture you can see I have to cut about 1.5 inches off the bottom. And I made a jig out of a 1x10 and used a piece of plywood on the top as a slide for my skill slot to go across. And it actually does a pretty good job of cutting without trying to do it by hand. As you can see, the cut came out pretty good. I think it looks really good. Now I also used my Ryobi jig here to use my hole saw to cut the holes for the handle and the lock itself. Now as you can see here as well, the jig has a hole that you can use as a guide to drill out the holes for the mechanisms themselves. Now as you can see in this picture, this is a part of the framing. I put in the door and it wouldn't close and I couldn't figure it out, and I finally seen these metal strips that are going around the frame of the door itself, and I guess they were just there to compensate for the difference in size between the interior and exterior door sizes, because the exterior of this door, this interior entrance doorway, was made for a 1.5 inch door and not an 1 3/8. So it was quite the chore. And you can see more of that framing here. Now this is all the metal parts that I took off that was going around the sides of the door. Also, you can see here that somebody must have drilled the hole out too big to put the latches for the locks in there. They used auto body putty to try to fill it in. To say the least, this door was a challenge to put in because of the monkeying around they did to try to get this interior door to fit as an exterior door. So as you can see, it was quite a challenge for me to install this door. So this is what happens when you can't go out to a place to actually look at the job before you do some. I just assumed it was an interior door. It was an 1 3/4 interior door or entrance door. And instead they were using an interior door with some kind of a metal frame around it to make up the difference in the size between the interior and exterior door. So it was a challenge, but I got her done. So I hope the owner's not unhappy about how much it cost him for this door to be installed, because it wasn't my fault. It took way longer than it should have. So anyway, this is Ray Albert. I'll talk to you later.